Hello, Facebook. How are you doing today? Today is Chamber on Work videos. So BCC at work. And this is where we go out and we interview a business person about their first job, their favorite or best job, and their current job. And today I'm interviewing Jessica.
My, how the tables have turned.
The tables have turned.
But it'll be good for our members to learn a little more about each of us, right?
Yes, it'll be so much fun. And there's a little purple and gold going on here.
There may be a theme in here.
There could be, yeah. So let's learn a little bit more about Miss Jessica Hemingway. So Jessica, tell us, and I have not a clue. What?
Yes, this is the first time everyone's hearing all this information.
Yes, I'm the interviewee.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
What was your first job? Tell us about it.
Well, actually, I was an entrepreneur as my first job. My dad used to make birdhouses, and I would paint them, and I would sell them at the local store, and I also made jelly and sold it there. It was a nice little pocket change for a teenager. And then I graduated into my own little house cleaning business. I don't know how many houses I cleaned each week, but yeah, I was a little entrepreneur.
Oh, you can make me a birdhouse. But well, more importantly, you can come clean my house.
I think that's why I don't clean my house regularly now, because I cleaned so many people's houses before. But anyway, I was actually very involved in high school, and so I think it was kind of a natural fit that this fit my schedule better, because I could do things whenever I had time.
So the age range was high school, 15, 16, 17 years old?
Right, all through high school.
Oh, well, that's so impressive. And we do here at the Chamber
entrepreneurship
programs. No wonder.
You can thank my dad for that.
Thanks, Dad. So what was your most, your most favorite job?
Right, because everyone who's interviewed here always gives the cliche, well, my current job is my favorite job.
Well, being that I'm your boss and I'm interviewing you, I know that that's the case. But we'll pretend there's another one that's really out of this world.
This job is very rewarding, but it is not if you ask me, my favorite job. My favorite job was more fun-oriented, which a lot of people do choose that as their favorite job on this segment. So, in college, I worked for the student newspaper at LSU, The Reveille. And my senior year, I got to be the sports photographer, and so I went with the team, and separately from the team, as a journalist. And I took photographs of the football team on the sidelines. And so that was 2002, so the year wasn't that great. But But
did you get run over by football players while you were down there taking pictures?
I got run over by TV people whenever they used to have cords.
Now you're showing your age. That's old school.
For their cameras. They literally flipped me over, and I got rug burns all on the back of my leg. But anyway, it was worth it. It was worth it.
I would think so. Being on the field of an LSU game?
Yeah, I loved it. And so, of course, when I was in college, I wouldn't wear paraphernalia, but I would wear yellow so that my family could see me on TV, so they could spot me, because they always were looking for me, because when your kid's on TV,
right,
even if they're a speck, you want to find them, right? Okay. So I always wore yellow so that they could find me. And my claim to fame was in 2002, we went to Kentucky and LSU won on the Bluegrass Miracle, and I took this photo, and before things went viral, it went viral in people's emails, and they wanted to buy it and whatever, but the university wouldn't let us sell it. But anyway, I had a coworker whose dad forwarded it back to her, and she was like, oh, tell your guy he got a good shot. And she said, it's a girl. So
I love it.
Isn't it funny?
Do you have a pen?
A pen?
I need your autograph.
Oh my gosh. But anyway, I was lucky enough in my first real job outside of college, when I went to work in Natchez, that they let me photograph the games, the home games, for an entire year there as well. Even though I was a reporter, I got to go to the LSU games and take pictures then, so I did it for 2 years.
That That it really is cool.
It was. It was
really,
fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Yes.
And that's great to have that in your professional memories of how you've grown through your
And
professional
to know
life.
that work can be fun, I think
Absolutely.
is a good thing. But if you have a 2003 subscription to Sports Illustrated, and I don't remember if it was before the national championship or after, but Nick Saban, it's a big spread. There's a person in a blue shirt, because after I got out of college, I wouldn't wear team colors because I was more professional, right? Didn't show who I was rooting for. I'm sitting there in this huge spread in Sports Illustrated with a camera in my face next to Nick Saban. So
She is famous. So, allow me to introduce to you our interviewee today, the infamous Jessica.
Everybody has to have their 15 seconds of fame.
Jessica Walden Hemingway. How exciting is that?
Mm-hmm.
So we've gone from first job as an entrepreneur, birdhouses, cleaning homes, little house theme there, but really it's about starting your own business
That
and your
jelly
own
was
job.
good too.
Making jelly, yes, and then you go to the sidelines and sports journalist and photographer for LSU.
That's right.
LSU Baton Rouge.
That's right.
The main campus.
And so I'm a little anxious today because
I'm an LSU pilot.
my team
I'm
is.
proud too.
That's right. My team is playing for the national championship today. If you didn't notice, and so I'm a little anxious today. I might be like purpled out. And
Oh yes.
You didn't used to be such a fan because I was a journalist. I was quiet, and as I'm older, I even have LSU socks on. You guys.
Okay, we don't need to know anything
No.
else. So, your current job. So
Yes.
now what are you doing today? So you came to the chamber several years ago.
2016, yes.
And so about 4 years ago, and as our marketing director of communications
That's
and
right.
marketing, and over the time you have assisted in public policy, and you do all of our branding and communications and making sure that our name is out there. Now for 2020,
Yeah.
you're getting a title change.
Tell me what it is.
So may I introduce to you Jessica Hemingway, the Vice President and Director of Communications and Marketing for the Bossier Chamber of Commerce, as well as Public Policy. So together we have really grown in our positions at the Chamber, and it's really time to reward you for your works and to say this is going for the next level. So actually that next level is, and you can talk a little bit more about that, is strategic planning and what have you. So,
Yeah.
tell us about your current job.
Well, the good thing about working at the chamber is that when the staff is smaller, you really get to use your strengths. We've done the Clifton strengths if you didn't know, but you can use your strengths at your job, and sometimes that means you morph into other jobs or take on other things,
Right.
as Lisa said. And so a lot of my strengths fall into that strategic planning and strategic thinking category. And so as we move forward in 2020, I'm obviously still here, but Caroline will be doing more of the communications. So if you need something specific with communications, you can reach out to her, or still me. I mean, I'm here. But thinking about visioning out not only what our community needs from us and what that looks like, what the chamber needs to be morphing into, but also in every area of the chamber, not just specifically communications, even though that is obviously the area that touches them all. Where are we going? What do we need to be doing? And kind of doing more of a bird's eye view of helping each person in their area kind of see where they can make goals and continue to move the chamber forward. It's things that we do anyway, but having someone who can kind of sit and
we're talking internally.
Right, kind of put that puzzle
with the staff, the board,
together.
Our processes, and making sure that we have all the right people working in the appropriate areas to move not just the chamber forward, because the chamber then helps to move the community forward. And so it's really, if your foundation is not where it needs to be, how can you build on it?
Right.
And we're always
I think you've seen that. We've been moving more into a community focus in a way that we've taken on leadership roles because we've been asked to and we've been looked to do certain things. And so as we add that additional step, just making sure everything's aligned, we can get everything done we need to, and do we need to be spending our time on X, Y, or Z kind of thing. And, just making sure that the community, elected officials, and the chamber and the businesses are melding
Right.
and kind of moving forward together.
So since we're talking about your current job, what is your favorite thing about working at the chamber?
Well, if you'd asked me when I first got here, I really enjoyed the design portion, which I was doing all the time. But I think, even though this kind of sounds overarching, like strategic, I think I like how we are so adaptable at the chamber, and so my job has also been adaptable, and it helps me to grow as an individual, which just note to employers, like that's very valuable to employees. It's no secret you can go here, there, or wherever and make this much money or whatever, but if you're not happy in your job, then it doesn't do you any good. So I stay here because my strengths continue to be utilized, and I have the ability to move within the organization to build a better employee.
Right.
And
which is appreciated by me.
As a former journalist, it's not uncommon and communications person for us to move every 2 to 3 years.
Right.
Because a lot of times you are in a silo and you're on your own. And so to be challenged again, you move to a new job. It's really kind of the nature of that position, not everyone, but in general.
Right.
And so because I've been able and flexible to move and add different things to my job here, I haven't had to change jobs, which I haven't wanted to do. And so that's been nice. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I think that's a valuable lesson, investing in what your employees can do to help them see a future where they are.
Yes.
It's a good...
And this interview is about you, but I do, because the tables have turned, but I do like to find, just as you talked about, those special, unique qualities and characteristics of our employees, our staff members, and capitalize on those and push the staff to make those areas bigger and stronger, not for the chamber only, but for themselves personally, because it's really important to have your own personal goals as well.
Yes.
So with that, what is the most, I won't say it because it sounds so negative, so I'm not saying what is the least, but what is the most challenging thing about your job here at the Chamber of Commerce?
I think just to be quite frank, I think the hardest part about communications in general with the chamber is that people see us everywhere and they see us all the time, but they don't always understand exactly what we do overall, and they don't understand why they need to be a part of it. And I think when you get people who are super on fire and they have a testimonial, then it kind of spreads, and that's helpful. But sometimes it's just, I don't want to say overlooked because we've always been here. But I think what we do a lot of times is quiet. It's these roles behind the scenes that you don't always see, where we're really affecting change without being the person in the front. We don't have to be the quarterback. We don't have to be Joe Burrow to affect change. He needs a good offensive line too.
That's right.
So a lot of times we are that offensive line. I think we should coin that. We are the offensive line, and so we're just here
registered trademark.
We're here to help move along so many different things, but we're not super out there about it. Like we're not saying, oh, did you know we did that? Oh, did you know we set up that partnership? Oh, did you know we connected those members together so that they could enhance their business
That's
together?
The truth.
And so, it's a challenge when you're marketing and communicating this business, because how do you toot your horn without just acting like you did it all? Well, of course you didn't do it all. That's why we're about partnerships.
That's right.
But we are key in
But there's a level of an unsung hero there as well. And sometimes you'd like that pat on the back to say thank you.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it 100%, So it's an honor, and I love having you here as a team member. And to know that you've gone from birdhouses, jelly making house keeping cleaning, to
My fun job.
the fun job and showing us what it meant to be viral before
I know. It was
social
really funny.
media. Yes. So you were a pioneer.
Oh, yes.
How was that?
Oh,
Good
yeah.
word? To helping move the Bossier Chamber of Commerce forward. So really, you know, it's a pleasure to interview you, to get to know that. I did not know that. So about your first job.
Yeah.
And I know a little bit about her most favorite job, but she hasn't always shared everything because you happen to be a quite humble person as well.
I don't like to talk about myself, but I think the best part about this best, first, and current is that you learn a lot about people and how they kind of grow into their jobs and what lessons they have that they've learned along the way, because even in doing the ones that I've done, and so I look forward to continuing to do those this year.
So, well, great. Well, thank you for being with us today. Thank you, Jessica, for sharing your story on this great National Championship Day of Purple and Gold.
That's right.
LSU Tigers, LSU as Pilot, but we're all still Purple and Gold.
That's right. And here's to a great 2020.
Not to mention, here's to a great 2020, but not to mention, let's don't forget about our Parkway Panther LSU
That's right.
players. So, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.